Medusa gets through as the last pick, well, surely Xtreme knew that that was going to happen.
They had a plan.
Exactly. They're not scared of that Medusa. They're like, you know what, you can have it. We're going to deal with it.
So I think that they probably did have a plan, right? There's no way that you forget about it,
no.
right? There's just no way. So the plan is probably that they have this Brew and this Grimstroke, where the two concepts can be, if the Grim gets to an Aghanims, you're going to be able to have this cool copy. If he goes for that build that they're talking about, it can be a little different. And then they have a Brewmaster. So Brew in teamfights, toss that Dusa up, ignore her, right? Look for the way that you can have the number advantage. So perhaps that's something that they were looking at, and let's see how it all ends up going. Both sides, they do have pretty strong approaches. One side clearly more of like the meta, I think you could look at on the Dire side, you know, for Tidebound, but this TA tends to be banned in most situations, so.
Yeah, TA is pretty crazy. And in terms of, well, you know, one of the other heroes you just mentioned there, Brew, where are you at still at the moment with Brew? Are you still kind of not sold on this hero? What are you feeling with the Brew picks?
Man, I don't know. I'm already happy because he skilled Thunderclap. I saw one yesterday, or two days ago that had 0-4-4 until level 18. He had 0 points in Clap, so. I think this hero is fine. I just think that there's some situations where you pick this like double melee lane and he can't play the game. And Fear was talking about that with the Slark, so.
Sure.
I'm still a bit 50-50 on it, but I think I'm getting a little bit more okay with it as the tournament progresses.
And how is the lane? So, well, because he's got the back of a Xingqiu on the Grimstroke, this is not bad.
I mean, it's still a hard lane.
Sure.
It's here versus a Medusa and Jakiro. Jakiro is like the strongest 5 still at the moment, so definitely not easier. So other thing I did want to mention also about Grim is, of course they picked it because he wants to do lots of stacks, as we've seen from Planet in particular too with the fine art. His Phantom's Embrace is not going to be the easiest to use. Whenever you're playing versus Jakiro, the hero just kills it. Like, he just double attacks. So doubt we'll see him get many points in that early on. Nice try there, Planet. Almost sniping out Tianming. And Nothing to Say does have this matchup that he really wanted, and I think you kept mentioning it yesterday to me too, is Nothing to Say has not been given advantageous matchups too many situations. This time he's in a very nice spot.
Yeah, this is probably the best matchup he has been given.
Yeah. He had one the other day.
This is pretty nice.
Decent, but yeah, this one is very nice for him. Planet gets the side pull off, an ideal setup for them. Yeah, let's see if they can bully. Let's see if they can pressure Shira at all. The fact that he has Clap tells me that maybe they want to try to, but definitely not easy whenever you're playing versus that Jakiro, as I'm mentioning.
Yeah, well, I should always be able to hold them back if they do start to get aggressive and attempt to close that gap on Shira.
I feel like Jakiro's attacks... Actually, this is stupid, I shouldn't say. But I feel like Jakiro's attacks should not do the same damage to wards, because it's impossible to contest this hero when you're in 4 position and you're trying to de-ward. He puts a sentry double attacks in, and you're like, okay, cool, whatever. Like, so it's really hard for you to really ever unblock camps or do anything like that versus this hero and put pressure on him lane. But right now, they're doing great. Right now, XXS is free farming up here, so not feeling that pressure just yet. I mean, Medusa lanes don't really pressure too much, but usually they just ensure free farm for her.
And will he just be going, what, for a Radiance rush this game on the Brew? If he's getting a good lane?
Probably. I'm trying to think because it's XXS. He sometimes deviates a little more to be more around like the team early timings.
Yeah.
So he maybe will look for a faster timing since they are playing with TA, but we'll have to see because I mean, Vessel has its merits versus Beastmaster and Monkey, but it's pretty useless versus Dusa. So it depends on how he wants, what hero they want to itemize first in particular from him. If it's just standard route, sure, Radiance.
And because in this game as well, if it does go late, like, is that Ag's Grimstroke that much of an issue for the Medusa? Like,
I think with the new build it changes things because the Ag's Mjolnir, you actually have ways to clear it, but it's not an issue.
No, sure.
That's for sure.
Because outside of that, right, you don't have anyone that can build a diffuser, really. Maybe you get Disperser on TA down the line.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But it's, you know, it's not something that's going to help tear through the mana of the Medusa's shield.
No.
So, like, a late game Shiro,
he's got
it's going to be quite the beast.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like the Brewmaster is just going to be the concept of just throwing him in the air. Take him out of the fight. All fights every single time.
Kill everyone else.
Throw him in the air. Kill everybody else. They're going aggressive. Shiro getting Ghana with the Inkswell. It's fairly low.
Stick. 1 charges.
No man goes on Y. They got him.
Very nicely done there by Xtreme.
Surprised Y actually has a salve in his bags instead of having like a mango to be able to pass over for the Dusa. You do usually see picked up Xingqiu. It's a good connection with XXS. They're doing great in this top lane.
Yeah, he's getting pretty much free farm here on the Brew.
So, big deal. And we see that mid lane matchup. Monkey King is owning at the moment versus XM, but to be expected with the setup. Bet this is not one of those Brew games where he's going to be sacked, so see what he does queue up. See if XXS is going to go down that greed route, since he does get this excellent start to the game.
Yeah, mid lane just continues to go, I think, as expected. You know, just a bit of an edge here for the Monkey King. 22 and 12 against the 15 and 6.
Yep, he's trying to catch waves, as you see there. XM is trying to manipulate things, but won't be able to exactly. Nothing to say. Does hold the wave, though, so he's going to be able to deny this next one instead of catching it.
That's right, yeah. XM's going to get his way back over here. Otherwise, he's going to lose out on this entire wave.
He's at least got to sap the experience of it, so yeah, he'll step. This is a triple range creep for nothing to say. I mean, XM, go put some aggression onto him, yeah, so you can utilize these 3-4 range creeps on him. At least a little bit there, so he can miss some CS, but nothing to say. Keeps his composure. Bottom lane, Ame, full free farm. So unable to contest him with the Beastmaster. Yeah, cool approach here with this this Grim Brewmaster. And he's killing the Radiants. So, yep, he's having a free lane.
Yeah,
That makes a start. They want to have that scaling.
It's going to feel pretty good this game, right?
Yep. Especially since he's able to get free lane and that kill.
Oh,
XM, big
nice setup in the mid indeed. Huge burst coming in from Xingqiu. Not quite enough, though.
That did a lot of damage. I'm enjoying watching this Grim. They're going for the kill. They were attempting there with the toss, perhaps, but unable to get the distance with that stroke. Positioned around the power runes. Level 4 versus level 3. Y is here. Level 6 has been hit on nothing to say. This could be a hard rune contest. See how XG wants to play it. They go for the toss back.
He's going to be caught by that. It's going to be out of the range of the stun the ink swirl. Now nothing to say. He's ready to jump forward. Look for Xingqiu in the trees. Avalanche is there from XM to hold back the two of them.
Yeah, that avalanche is dangerous. Power shot won't connect either. And nothing to say. He puts the point in tree dance rather than having Wukongs there to try to go for the kill. So won't have Wukongs until 7 now. This could get pretty farmy, or at least in this early game. Xingqiu getting himself positioned for more stacks. The beauty of the Grimstroke. I think there could be, honestly, situations where this hero rises just because of how many stacks that we're seeing. Of course, it's always a stack meta, but yesterday we literally saw Crit stack 17 times in 20 minutes or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was on his Muerta, right?
That was on the Muerta, yeah.
Where he was getting that crazy amount of stacks.
I mean, it feels like a lot of the 4 positions just thrive with that, right? There's Coddles,
yeah, they
Muertas,
can
they're
they can
Grims.
stack easily.
Yeah, you can double stack quite effectively, as we see Xingqiu does not get the double stack, but he'll get the 1. And stacks we see on the side of Tidebound. They have a couple, but one was blocked now. Tianming starting to address the triangle since he knows Beast is going to back up there eventually. But I say that, but Bach is actually looking to play for the laning phase more than anything, rather than actually play to go back and farm stacks.
Now mid.
Build XM. No mana.
Try and make a go for him.
He's completely
They're going to get him.
He's completely
And no way to protect himself. And no backup coming in either.
That feels like it shouldn't happen with him stepping up that far. Just literally no resources to prevent that kill. An unfortunate death for XM is nothing to say. Starting to really cruise it in this mid lane. 2,000 net worth on the Tiny, 3,600 on the Monkey King.
Yeah, he's having
that is an insane separation.
A beautiful start here. And one that he doesn't normally get to get. Because he's just not normally ending up on a hero that has that edge in the mid matchup.
I don't think it should be this much of an edge, though. This is craziness how much of an advantage.
I mean, that death shouldn't have happened.
Is brutal.
Right?
Yeah,
that shouldn't happen.
Big mistake there from XM getting punished. And now nothing to say. We'll be able to get this amp damage. They're looking for an aggressive play. Scouting stacks, but there's none there, so he doesn't have anything to farm. He doesn't want to dive. Brew is 6, so it's dangerous for them to go for any over-aggressive play on the side of Tidebound now. XXS is going to be a bit of an issue in this early game for sure with how good of a start that he's gotten. And yeah, going back to box build, he has gone down the route of the Overlord. We see he's gone for... He's got that Dominator finished up already, so we'll be able to look to apply pressure. And I think the reason he went for the summons this game is because he's versus these squishy, fragile backline supports.
Sure.
They can absolutely struggle when they're playing versus these summons. Yeah, a bit of a pivot of a game, though, from Tidebound, because that does mean a little bit of these timings will be delayed. Usually it's like this Ags Beast comes out, you look to play around the Tormentor, accelerate things.
How many times do we see the non-Ags build come out from these Beastmaster players? Like, are other people also doing this?
Some, but I feel like at this tournament, a lot less. I think last tournament I saw more, but here I think everybody started doing Ags. But I think that's also because most of these beasts were like mid lane.
Sure, they're in different roles as well. We're seeing a lot of beasts in other positions. But,
so, yeah, this is cool. It won't allow them to force the Tormentor in particular in the same way, but allow them to fight around the Tormentor to contest versus potentially XG. So, okay. Let's see how that ends up working out versus the Brewmaster as well.
This is a problem, surely. This Brew's just going to have such an early Radiance.
It is really big. The problem, though, is also XM is just completely poor. Like, actually having one of the slowest games I've seen on Tiny in this tournament.
I guess that balances out. Yeah.
So it balances.
They're struggling in the mid, but indeed on the off lane, XXS having an amazing time.
Bach will lose his creep. Wait. He took... Oh, nice play there from Bach. They're about to kill his Dominator creep, and he dominates a melee creep literally on the last attack, so they get no gold out of it. Well played there. 1-1 in 10 minutes, Owen.
That's a slow start. It's the first game of the day.
It is.
We're waking up here.
Hey, these two teams have played each other a billion times as well, so understanding each other completely. Oh yeah, I didn't actually get to check.
What we got?
Was it that China knocked out China last time also? I didn't hear it.
It was definitely a recent tournament,
something
right?
like that.
I'm sure the panel talks about it, though.
Missed it.
But it has happened recently, yeah.
Yeah.
But as I said, the plus one, whichever wins, we're going to get a Chinese team in the playoffs.
It's very true. Planet. Looking to apply tower pressure here. With Bach with the summon. They're bringing Y, level 2 Liquid Fire. They're going to look to defend this tower. I mean, they have all their tools at the ready if they'd like to bring the Brewmaster, but...
Bring the Grim over. Tower's going down, though. I don't know if they can stop this. Now, Tower's gone. Now they're going to bring TPs in, see if they can actually get some kills in return. They'll get the silencing onto Planet. We'll get the win run off, but the toss is there. Planet still alive. Finally, he falls. They'll drop the wheel. It's not going to quite catch on a Y. Nothing to say. Slams down the boundless strike on both Arme and Tianming holds them back and gives the space for Y to get out. So they bring the four of them down bottom. They're not able to hold their tower, and they do only just get a support kill.
Well, that wasn't that exciting. I was hoping for a lot more to kick off there, but everyone just disengages as soon as they rotate. Tower has been claimed. It was not denied, right? Bach got the last hit. So he'll be happy with that. And now he can go down his Ags build. He's not going to full commit for that Overlord.
Yeah, the Ags just feels too good to not buy.
It's the best item.
As soon as possible. I mean, obviously, in this case, he gets slowed down a little bit, but he still want to get that Ags.
Of course. You always want to have it, but I can always understand why you want to get the other one if you want to put early pressure. But yeah, I mean, the Ags is... It's arguably the best Aghanims in the game at the moment, right? I can't really think a lot of times of a better one.
It's like if you don't have it, you're not playing the hero.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd actually have to think quite a bit to see what other Ags I like better.
Well, that's sort of essential.
Yeah, like what's another hero that just always rushes it at the moment? I mean, Sand King, but I would not put that nearly at the value of a Beastmaster. So.
No, I feel like Sand King's playable without it.
Yeah. Smoke coming out, Planet looking to move the Monkey King toward bottom. They want to get a kill onto Ame early. The pace of this game is so slow, so they do want to look to get that kill, slow him down so the Medusa gets that acceleration over him. And it looks like they should find him. This is a hell of a surround. I mean, Ame, good luck getting out of this one.
Yeah, he's got no way out of this, surely. Yeah. Nothing to say. Finds him with the setup.
And overall, even though Ame is farming, it definitely is not really set up to be one of those games that's super easy for a Templar Assassin to just walk in and attack targets. A lot of control that he's going to have to deal with. A lot of damage instances. But XXS, he is almost having a Radiance.
Yeah, he's chilling.
It's probably one of the faster ones we'll see as a Brew.
I think this has been, so far, like the easiest Brew early gameplay that we've had this tournament. He is no one's doing anything about him. He's just getting to farm his Radiance.
Of course, it was picked before the Dusa, but this is probably one of those great things that you pick. Dusa's just very passive in lane.
So you can pick this Radiance.
Yeah, let me just pick this
off-lane.
passive farmer also. So that's kind of cool. The approach that we've seen coming out for them.
Yeah.
How are the stacks looking? I keep checking because they are playing with the TA. So whenever we see TA, even though it's not as much as in the past, you want to have stacks. Like this hero super accelerates her farm. So not really seeing it as many, at least for her, because I've seen them take it on a couple other heroes. So 13 is still a lot in the 13-minute mark, of course, but would like to see Ame get as many as possible to enable that timing versus Dusa. Because ideally, they want to be ahead on the side of XG when you're playing versus this lineup of Tidebound. Are you translating on?
I'm getting the translation.
I thought you were on it already. I knew it.
See if we're getting any banter. Oh no, they're moving too fast.
Underway. You got it. I'll keep going.
Yeah, we're back in.
You take it.
It says there is a storm. I think probably a very kind of visual way of saying there's a bit of lag.
Okay.
So nothing too exciting.
That's exciting.
But that is a cool way to say there's lag. There's a storm.
A storm is a brewing. Maybe they're talking about the game, the potential that could happen in the next few minutes. Ah.
Oh, it was temperature thing.
Temperature.
They wanted the room heat. Ah, that makes sense. There's a storm.
14 minutes. Nobody contesting shrines. Both teams just fought. I mean, this is 2-2 in 14 minutes. These games.
Is this the slowest start
for
we've
us?
had?
For us, yes, it is the slowest.
14 minutes and 2-2.
Yeah. We had some games. I think we had like 20.
We had
14 minutes.
20. I mean, yeah.
Incredibly slow-paced. Radiance. It's online. Deso soon to be finished for Ame.
I mean, even though like this Radiance is such quick timing, I still feel ultimately that I'm looking at this Medusa and feeling that
how's she gonna be hurt? I don't know how they're gonna deal with
again, her. This sort of when the Ags grip hold that fort here because it's about down on the bottom, they get the setup on a buck.
Oh, the roar!
He's gonna go for the TP out. Is the stun there in time? It is. XXS quickly with the split, able to interrupt that TP and put an end.
Ooh, that roar, the pushback. Imagine the distance because he shoves the brew away that the boulder doesn't reach. That'd be kind of cool, but ends up dying.
He's gone. But it's just whether or not when the Ag's Grimstroke comes out eventually, if that does just kind of completely destroy the Medusa.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see if he pivots the build, right? I think the Shiro is going to.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Shiro's just going to go Manta, Mjolnir, Eggs.
Yeah, because Jinkyu is going to go Ether Lens into Ags.
100% this game. But I mean, the idea that they want is that they're going to be able to deal with it, like with this Radiance Brew, throwing it up in the air, getting the copy themselves.
Yeah, sure.
To have that plus the TA.
But the thing is, like, you can deal with it, but the problem's not going to go away. And Medusa is a hero that could come down after being thrown up in the air, and even if the team's dead, if Shiro's got enough farm, he can still kill you all.
We're going to have to see. I mean, because XG, it looks like they feel content with farming. Right?
Both teams do.
Well, of course you would say the Tidebound does, right? With the Duke.
Sure.
Right? But I feel like XG is just like, okay,
they chill as well.
We're scaling, all's good. Maybe it's just because XM did have such a slowdown on his game that he didn't have the blink to look to make any moves, but now he does. So let's see if they do want to look to make any aggressive move, or again, if they're just content with exchanging farm for the time being.
I mean, you would imagine that XG look to maybe line up to get aggressive kind of soon, right? Especially with the fact that XXS he's queuing up the shard next, so he wants to get the shard ASAP. Yeah. You're only buying the shard ASAP, right, if you're going to actually use the split and get active.
I imagine they want to set tempo.
Yeah.
Their lineup is about getting Tormentor, getting Aegises, taking towers with those Aegises. So Bruce Split's on cooldown. XXS is deep. He does not have enough backup. He is very dead. Even committing the roar onto him there, it's nothing.
I mean, 16 minutes is 3 for 3. You know, Buck's like, if I don't roar now, when am I going to roar next? You know, nothing's really going on. So, you know, when there's a bit of action, you throw your spell in.
Q getting those stacks made for Ame, continues to get enabled. Lens is done. See how long it takes him to get that Aghanims. Definitely will take quite a bit of time. Okay, so Blink TA, Blink Tiny, Radiance Brew with a shard.
With a shard.
I feel like she's going to look for fights and look for a rush.
It seems like they are hitting a timing now where everything can come together quite nicely on XG.
XM with the haste also, looking for a potential play, but I don't know if he actually saw Buck. Now he did.
See what he can do about this.
He's got the haste, so he's got great ways to play around him. And with Q here,
yeah, he's pretty dead. Get the Deso stack here for Ame.
Can you turn this directly into this Roche because you have that Deso? Perhaps. At least look to maybe force an engagement. They're actually TPing bottom the Jin Q to set up. Maybe just check if there's any vision down here. XM does find himself a kill, and he is pretty much caught back up versus nothing to say. So, long are the days of that laning phase where there's a 2,000 gold difference or so. It's only a 300 difference between the two of them now.
Yeah, Shiro continues to make good progress on the Miona onto the Manta.
That's kind of cool. Buys the Hyperstone first rather than the Maelstrom because he has split shot anyway, so can farm.
Yeah, it feels, especially if you're sort of just able to farm at that 2k gold.
Yeah.
You know, buy that juicier big piece first.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a hero that obviously doesn't have actual flash farming mechanic though, right? The Maelstrom's really better. But yeah, with a split shot hero, yeah, it's actually cool. I actually quite like that. Picking that up first. Shard, we see picked up for nothing to say. 4-3, still 1k. XXS level 12 has been hit. He's quite scary on this Brewmaster.
I think this is, you know, if this brew doesn't pop off, then I feel like teams have got to tone back on the brew picking because he has been set up for success here. XXS, he's gotten the space to farm his Radiance,
and he's got save. That's the other thing too. That we haven't seen it. Of course, there's nothing's really happening too much, but the potential of them 100-0ing him, as long as Tianming's in a place relatively close, should be able to get the save off every single time for him to get the split off too. So. This is very slow pace, though, as we see another smoke coming out.
Here's the smoke.
They have split available.
And as I said, they surely want to use it because he's got the shard. He's ready to have that extra duration on it and take over the team fight.
Is finished for Bach, so they are quite a bit stronger also on that front on the side of Tidebound. Nothing to say. It seems like they know exactly where he is right now. They're pinging the tree. Won't be able to find him.
Middle tower is under attack.
It's a little hard to get behind the tower right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, XM did have the blink to be able to dive forward, but was hesitant to go for it. Like, they're looking for the kill. They know that they're stronger at the moment as long as they don't just walk up into a high ground and feed some heroes, like feed the supports first. Also, Wukongs can be scary depending on how they walk into it here. XXS looking for Power Rune. XM will get it.
Can they get anything out of this? They're looking at XXS. They'll get the shackle shot, but the wheels drop down, and that will stop Tidebound from being able to chase.
Bit of a whiff on the wheel, though. Doesn't actually connect with anybody. So both 5 positions actually just whiff the ulties.
It stops the fight.
It does stop the fight, so that was kind of their... Well, I don't think that's what we want. We want to see a fight. It stops the fight.
Well, here's what these teams want. We don't want to fight. We want to keep farming. It's like, oh no, we used our ults. We'll have to go back to hitting the creeps. What a shame.
It's 4-3. Kill people.
20 minutes.
I know hitting creeps is very valuable, but... Okay, this is actually cool by XXS. So pivoting the build also, he's playing versus multiple split damage heroes, right? So Crimson Guard versus Monkey King and Medusa. That sounds kind of interesting. They're looking for XXS, but a complete whiff on the Boundless.
He's a slippery one, the brute.
Unlikely that they can really bring him down anyway.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But I feel, honestly, in a game like this, I feel like XXS could have gone greedier. It's like you're in a 21-minute game. It's 4-3. You know how you need those auras, you need those Crimson guys.
Well, you want to go to Manta in this build?
Get the Manta Midas Octarine online. You know what I mean? It's Crimson. Who needs a Crimson? Nobody's killing anyone.
With the pace of this game, no, absolutely. Could have probably gotten away with anything. The Radiance is good that he's gotten it since it's so greed, but Tianming get caught.
He should be dead. XM should get the chance to get out of this, though.
He's got the shield rune. Look if they want to try to re-go in. Nope.
Shiro, of course, Miona done. Ready to start working on the Aghanims. Now, this is the thing. When he's got kind of like the Ags of the Miona, does he clear through the Brewlings pretty quickly or not really? Like, how much does sort of Medusa do to the Brewlings?
I mean, pretty decent, honestly. Yeah. If they get stone gazed, they die very fast.
They can, yeah.
Definitely potential for them to bring them down. And they do have a ton of split damage. That is very true. So it's for XXS, his Earth Panda will be quite tanky, but the other 3 very likely will die inside of like these Wukongs and splits.
And again, I feel like in a game like this as well, nothing to say. Obviously, going for the Mage Slayer BKB. It's like maybe he would have wanted to get like a farming item because they ain't been able to do much.
I mean, Mage Slayer is so good on this hero, though, right? But
it is, but nothing's happening.
I know, literally nothing.
There's no spells to reduce the damage because there's no spells being used on him.
At this point, absolutely, he's probably like, man, I wish I had a Maelstrom.
You know what I mean? It's got to feel like that, right? When you're 22 minutes in, and that's 4 for 4.
I'm waiting to see what other people buy because I'm seeing some people stack up some gold. You know, I'm seeing like the Jakiro, he's got 2K
what's he got?
gold.
Okay.
I imagine Tianming will of course just go for the blink because that's the one that we've seen more popularized than anything on this ring.
See, I think Y's being smart. He's like, you know what, bro?
This could be a Midas.
Exactly. Dude, it's got to be tempting. You know what I mean? You're supporting this game. You're like, well, I've got 2K gold in the bank.
Don't do it.
Nothing's happening. My team's not doing anything.
Just buy the Solar Crest.
Midas.
You just buy the Solar Crest. You've got Medusa. We'll see what he ends up getting. He'll probably get one of these support items for his big Dusa, since it is, you know, it's not a full 4 protect one, but it eventually, yeah.
Nah, he's just gonna buy. He's queued up the Force, yeah.
Force, yeah, I think it's Force Solars. Just makes too much sense this game. My goodness, though.
I mean, what about a Roshan?
I thought that
No,
XG was gonna do it 4 minutes ago, to be honest. But I guess they're afraid maybe of the fight kicking off around it. But they have strong team fight. But nobody wants to engage in a. No one wants to do the 5v5, Owen. That's what this tells me. But Medusa, you have to feel like Shiro is pretty happy if he can get away with just sitting back and getting Ags timing with Mjolnir.
I mean, this is the thing.
But
XG must have some big brain strat here, because at the
it
moment
seems
it's looking like XG strat's been let them have the 5th pick Medusa, and then we're gonna do nothing, and then what? I don't know. What's the next bit of the plan?
That is true, very much so. Ame. I mean MKB next, but this is a full glass cannon Templar assassin.
Yes.
So
which is great. I like it.
Behind him. I like it too in some situations.
He's not dying. Nobody is.
But when he dies, though, if he does die, it's gonna be like, wait a minute. I'm very easy to kill if I don't have my saves behind me. But we'll see. Ame. Get the tower.
XXS is going to continue getting those auras online.
Ags is done. I feel like Shiro's gotten away with getting exactly what he wants. He's got Ags, Mjolnir, Manta, he's got the Gossamer Cape, they've got BKB. I feel like now it's Tidebounds. They're probably like, okay, we feel strong enough to just take that 5v5 likely since we've gotten away with this Dusa timing. Let's see if it works. So let's see if XG was right to be patient.
Oh, XM.
Shackle.
And it's going to latch
Beauty.
lovely on the creep there. Locks him down. Escape pack will give him a bit of a chance. They'll drop the Soulbind onto the 2 of them. XM's going to get the chance to step out.
They're tanky. The Crimson.
Surely someone dies here.
Nothing to say. He's getting poked.
XXS moving in.
Shiro.
He's got the split at the ready. Nothing to say. Gets off a full heal, though, with the Boundless Strike.
XM.
As XXS has to end the split, back off. XM gets taken out. XXS still trying to push forward. He's got to be careful, though.
I mean, Shiro's just standing his ground.
Yeah, they got to back off from this XG.
Nothing to say.
This is Tidebound's fight for sure. Boundless Strike catches onto Ame. Ice Path to follow up. As they move in, under the tower, ready to dive in. Ame, can he get out of this? The escape act! Oh, he's away! Is he? Planet's looking for him! Under the tower, Shackles connects again! They've killed off Ame. XXS will survive.
Oh, and it felt like this is the fight that Tidebound was waiting for. They wait on the high ground. I mean, Shiro just stands his ground. That was a really clutch Boundless Strike also from Nothing to Say, I do have to say that.
But that's the thing kind of worked against XXS because he popped the split, and then it gave him more units to connect with the Jingu Mastery Boundless Strike and get a full heal.
I think he maybe was trying to get like the lift up on the Medusa and then maybe dispel, but he had the BKB, so Tidebound, it waited. It felt like this is the fight. They just waited, and XG just, they've been waiting to wait for their items, but they're playing into Tidebound, which is their timing. Waiting for this big fight when they've got all these items, and they're tanky on the side of XG, but their damage seemed quite limited.
And this is the thing. It's really felt that the 25 minutes or so far this game, the do-nothing strat just seems to work way better for Tidebound's lineup with this Medusa than I think it's going to for XG.
It does feel like it. They did get the 5th pick Dusa versus Templar Assassin, which is one of the best heroes in the game, in particular versus that TA, especially if you just get to sit back. So level 20, a 4K lead. That's the biggest lead that we've seen here, and it's literally when Tidebound decided they wanted to take the fight. Another catch, top, Bach.
XXS, can he get out of this? He's got split in 10 seconds.
I don't know why I said, yeah, Bach's got him. Yeah, they kill him. Even with the Crimson, they take through him. Huh.
Well, that Axon Grim better be crazy.
That's pretty much what it feels like.
That's got to change the game up, because outside of that, I don't know what they're going to do.
Very interesting approach coming out from XG, really. Because Ame now, he's going to have MKB, but I'm worried for his survivability. And I'm not really feeling like this Grim Ags is going to do what it used to versus these, like, Butterfly Manta, Scotty Medusas of the old, now that it's Ags Mjolnir builds. Speaking of Xingqiu also.
And he's going to put the BKB, no messing around. He wants the kill, he'll get it. Nothing to say.
Yeah, blew the game open with that fight completely. Tier 2 now. You couldn't kill Shiro once. Now he's got Aegis. He also had the level 20 talent, which makes team fights a lot more confusing. The Stone Gaze lasts forever. And let's see what the backup plan is now for XG, because they were content with just hitting creeps, waiting for this fight, rather than accelerating things.
That's the
now
thing.
You're playing with the Templar Assassin lineup that didn't get the first Roche versus a Dusa lineup that got the Roche.
And they would have had chances to get it, you think? XG could have got in with the TA.
I'm not sure why
they had it. It was a very quick Dessa, right? It was good timings. It still is, you know. He's not in a bad spot, Ame, but he is behind Shiro's Medusa.
He's got MKB, but he's full glass cannon, so it feels like it's a high risk, high reward coming out from Ame, which he probably just has to do. The group up again, Tidebound, ready to go for the siege. They still have 2 minutes on this Aegis. I believe they also used their high ground glyph on the side of XG for that tier 2 on the left side. So if Tidebound wants to walk up to high ground and kind of pose the issue to them there, they can, because there's no glyph. I've seen a lot of teams do that. I'm dumb, and they do have it. I don't know why I was saying that, but I thought they had used it. Either way, it's up. Thank you, production. So they'll have it here, but they are going to get forced back. I swear on my screen it was gray. I'm blind.
I gotta do something.
They have to. I mean, they're going to pose the threat anyway to force them back. The toss back.
Let's see what they can do with it. I do catch Shiro. Of course, does still have the Aegis for a minute or so.
And they bring him down once. They will.
So if they can do round 2. Or if they even...
4 staffs.
Like Sam.
Right.
Got another toss back. Shiro can walk away from this. They get the Wukong's command down. They've caught Ame. Ame will be able to force to the side, but they'll see him and chase him out. He's dead without buyback.
He's right in the middle of everything there.
He's a glass cannon. That's not where you put the glass cannon, underneath their feet.
Well, they have to buy back, but they have no Ame. XXS, he's going to charge in with Split. Shiro is low mana, but they're able to disengage. Scotty now finished up also for Shiro. I mean, there was a glyph, so they were able to at least hold on for some time, but you can see that the style from Tidebound there is just, we still have time on this Aegis, we can force the issue. And they bring Ame down again. 0-3 now on the Templar Assassin. And now he's playing into Scotty, so it's much harder for that ranged hero.
Super tough.
Playing into, now they also have the Nullifier too, so the save on the Escape Act won't be as reliable.
Jinky's got the Axa.
He does.
So we're gonna see.
Let's see if it can.
How powerful the Dark Portrait can be. Is it enough? Or is it just gonna die?
It might just die. It very likely will.
Yeah,
it felt like Tidebound just, they played their game, and actually they played their game, but it was playing into the hands of Tidebounds, at least for these first 25, 30 minutes.
And as we said, this is the thing. If you're going to let them get the last pick Medusa, you got to have a plan.
You got to have a plan. You likely, especially with like a TA draft, you want to accelerate things, you know? But not the case this time around as Tidebound. Gem now picked up, and looks like they want to siege the top side. And they'll actually find XXS up here.
Uh-oh.
And that's a kill on the Brew before the fight.
His game's gone massively downhill. Yeah. After having such a beautiful start, chilling, loving life, getting his radiance, good timing, falling behind now, getting punished. And it really just feels with the playstyle. I don't know how much kind of the Crimson into the Pipe has done or is going to do for them, really.
No. I mean, I don't know if I can blame the build. It's the style of the way that they're playing around the map instead of forcing, earlier, when they had that bit of slight gold lead when they got Tormentor, they had like 8 minutes where they didn't even attempt to go for the Roche while Tidebound just hitting creeps, waiting for that timing for themselves, so. I mean, XG, now it's the point where it's hope for high ground defense, right, as we saw there. It's hope for tossback plays and that you can try to bring down this Medusa if she gets too deep, but it's a 14,000 lead now.
Yeah, they got a lot of problems this game, XG. That's a tough one.
Yeah, and Ame doesn't even feel like he can go BKB, so he's queuing up the crit next, and he's playing into Roar, Stone Gaze. He's playing into all these spells that go right through it, so likely won't help him anyway. Feels like smooth sailing now for Tidebound, as it has, I mean, kind of since that 20-minute onward.
Unless the Dark Portrait destroys
Unless the
them.
Dark Portrait
The Dark Portrait.
It doesn't feel...
That's all I'm going to be watching in these fights. After that Dark Portrait, I'm going to see how quickly it comes out, how quickly it goes.
For some reason, it doesn't feel as strong as it used to. Versus Morphling, yes. But versus a lot of these other heroes, I feel like it just... Yeah, it has looked a lot more scary. But it might be the strongest hero on their team now. When they get that portrait. Very likely. BKB Tiny. XXS trying to finish up level 18 before that fight comes to the high ground, also for level 3 split. Honestly, their ideal way to fight for XG is you toss the Medusa out of position and the split goes in the back line and completely messes with the supports, and you just kind of split the fight up completely, but it's a very complicated approach that they have to go for, especially with all these extra items being acquired now on the side of Tidebound. A full Shivas now for Bach.
I mean, XG's they're going to come looking for this.
Okay. They're also, when you have map control like this, when you're playing with Medusa, have to keep this out. They have greater healing lotuses. I think at least 1 or 2 of them on the side of Tidebound as well. So they can't pass that one over to the Medusa, which is an insane amount of EHP. So we do see 1 there at least. They are going for
that's a good position.
Wraparound. Still not.
It's a good position here.
Not 18 on XXS. He's literally 140 XP from having it, but.
Is anyone going to walk up it?
Planet.
Or do you think they
They
sense
seem to know.
that something's up? They send the illusions in. So now they'll know for sure, especially with the Impalement Arts getting thrown out and Arme showing himself. So Tidebound won't be walking into this trap.
Good awareness by them. Just complete understanding of where the map positioning is, and now the Croaker will run down toward the bottom lane to force the issue and force reaction and information. Planet will get tossed though.
He's going to get caught.
Roar.
Quickly kill him off. Bach moves in. They get the jump forward. They're in on a Xingqiu. They get the ice pump up. Whether the Wukongs come on, they've caught the 2 of them. Arme and Xingqiu gone.
Planet will be the sacrifice for the team. He just runs and he's like, I got info. So they see Arme and an instant Roar comes out, and that Dark Portrait.
I didn't get the chance to get it on Shiro, right? I think he just had to throw it down onto either the Monkey King. So, didn't do a lot. But, you know, that wasn't the situation they were hoping for, XG. They'll have to try again.
They plan it with some, like, I like that. He just runs and he's like, go on me. And they do. And it baits them. So they lose Arme 50 seconds now without him. They can get that push, that onslaught going again. Level 23 on Dusa. Glyph is at the ready. Okay. I'm not blind this time.
Well,
and he's just up to the high ground.
Yep, that's the fortification coming out from XG.
Spotlight. The illusions will go toward bottom. And this is him alone, by the way. Shiro. Now does have nothing to say behind him. But yeah, look how they're split up. Bach is farming bottom, Jakiro's farming jungle, Planet's farming top, as they were also looking to pressure mid for a moment there. So you can tell the comfort that they're starting to... I mean, they probably have felt for quite a long time on the side of Tidebound. What's the backup plan? There is none. It does seem like there just is none there from XG. Now, that was an attempt to go for this big wraparound play, but you can see it was not even a close fight. Even if they catch, let's say, the Deuce on the front lines, right? It doesn't feel like that fight's going to come close either.
I mean, maybe the backup plan is... I don't even know if this works. I don't think I've ever seen it being built. If you get refreshed, can you get 2 Dark Portraits up, or when you get the second one, does it, like, dissolve the first one?
You can.
Maybe that's it. They need two Dark Portraits.
Good luck, man.
2 Dark Portraits of the Medusa. That's going to be the backup plan.
Roche, it's claimed that Aegis Shiro is gigantic. Level 24 now, too. Okay, toss under tier 4s into Brewmaster split, purple Void Panda to the fountain.
That's true. They could try and get someone back there.
It doesn't pull that far.
Yeah, they're going to have to be hitting the Ancient.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's the point. You know, let your tier 4s go. Let yourself get Mega Growth. And then when they're hitting the Ancient.
He's got the toss requires no target, so he can throw them into a random location. But here comes that onslaught. Nothing to say. Giving some information. The banner is down. Eyes on XM. See what targets he wants to actually go for. They actually see him, so he needs to be a bit careful of that himself.
Hard to get the toss back now.
They've got the Medusa illusion, but it is already almost dead.
Oh. Oh, yeah, here it is. Let's watch it.
Toss back.
What? Shiro.
The illusion's dead.
As they get the roar out as well onto Arme. Escape Pack will come in and try and save Arme. Can they get him back safely? They'll turn with the Soul Bind, look down the two of them, but Arme's just dead. No buyback for him. Out for 90 seconds. And Shiro's still chilling, of course, out of mana, but has the Aegis.
The illusion died in seconds.
It did.
Did literally nothing.
Oh.
Another toss back.
See if they can at least get the Aegis out of him. They can.
And the once.
Shiro's gone once. Can they do it a second time? They don't have their carry, of course. Arme's still dead for 70 seconds. My goodness, Wukong's commands down. Xiaoming's dead. XM getting chased down by nothing to say. Pots the BKB here. Cleans up Xingqiu.
That's got to be it. Right, they're sticking around. They buy back.
He's trying for the toss. No, this was the plan. They let the tier 4s go. When they're hitting the Ancient, maybe he can get the toss back.
Ame's dead forever. Tier 4s. Level 25 hit on Medusa as well.
The Dark Portrait's ready. Give it a few seconds to have the Soul Bind as well. But the Ancient is dying. XM. Look for the toss back.
Lord.
And indeed, he's dead straight away. The Shackle Shot connects onto the two of them.
Oh, man.
This game's over, Fox.
This was a strain. Because it was just so low kill count with a team that you could feel wants to be able to set tempo with TA because it's a last pick Deuce and it just... Yeah.
So what do you got, Fox? What do you reckon about the snap here?
I mean, you're playing versus Phoenix, so it's not really that exciting this time around, unfortunately. But I mean, it's a double one, right? He's playing versus Phoenix, but he's also playing versus Terrorblade, so there's obviously the magic build that's quite good versus him as well, too. But yeah, fun stuff. The problem is my issue with Snap right now is I just don't know what to build. It's just I don't know what items you want to build on this hero anymore. Because some of these other 4s it's like Atos and always just feels good. So you probably just do Atos anyway. But yeah, definitely not the greatest. It feels at least on the hero. But either way, we get to see Xingqiu playing it, which is a lot of fun. And I would say overall for XG, they're still, I would say, a bit on a timer, but I think they have a little bit more liberty this game than the last one. Last one, it felt like 20 minutes. They had to get a ton of stuff done. This one, I feel like they can be a little more reliant on their scale. They aren't as reliant on just completely dumping on the early game. That being said, though,
XXS.
Still a very strong draft from Tidebound as the game progresses, so.
It's going to be, can they give it to nothing to say? They can.
They will.
First blood here for the mid.
A DK favored matchup and giving him the first blood to have that bracer right off the bat. That will not be fun for XM. As I said, we've seen Nisha do well in the matchup of the Ember versus DK, but as far as I've seen, the DKs have destroyed.
I was going to say, DK should trash the Ember.
Yeah, especially now with the first blood, so. Maybe if they can get a return kill. Power shot will clip the back lines.
Try and chase him down.
Flame Guard, is it enough? It is.
But can XM get out himself?
Uh-oh. Well, did he get the last... Wait, he didn't get the last hit.
Xingqiu did.
Oh, no. I mean, he really wanted that last hit, but okay, Xingqiu ends up grabbing it there. So, I mean, nothing to say. We'll get the first last hit as well, too, when he returns. I think he's going to be very happy in this DK.
Yeah, because, as you said, well, the brace and then into the second brace is going to be super quick. Yeah, he should get a crazy amount of denies in this lane.
Absolutely. And it's, we have to look overall for the DK game. We've been seeing this picked consistently versus that Ember Spirit because you're just straight up physical damage. And now looking at the synergy with the draft, right? Terrorblade with a Corrosive Dragon with a Snot Rocket on the Bristleback.
It's a lot.
A bit of synergy with that minus armor that can come into play there. And I would say for XG, I'm not going to say they're completely reliant on the Ember's game in the early game in terms of early game movements, but it kind of does feel like that. Like, Ember is pretty important in terms of how they can play aggressive with the two supports. Doom sometimes just doesn't really make any aggressive moves early, so my concern really for XG is that the lane is going to be hard for XM, and he's the one that has to dictate pace of the game for them to not fall behind too much. And
XM's got to be a bit careful.
He really does. There's nothing to say buy an early... I want to see a Blightstone next, honestly. Get the double bracer plus the Blightstone. There's no way XM can trade with you at all then. I've seen a couple players do that from time to time here. Or just go the treads. I mean, either one. Top lane, this is the one that they should absolutely do well in on XG. But so far, Baki's not feeling that pressure.
Why?
First few waves.
He's going to be fine. And with the meta up, Shiro, not enough.
Not enough.
As the one charges, does have a Fairy Fire as well in case Xingqiu is going to be able to salve up.
Yeah, Shiro didn't want to completely commit for that there, even though he had maybe a chance to get a couple extra hits there. He didn't want to miss extra CS. XM's got 9 last hits, so there's at least that right now for him, but nothing to say. Of course, does have those extra denies that are always going to add up, and he's got this extra wave coming in.
And I guess, I mean, are they able to bring anything towards the mid early to try and push for a kill? Or yeah, you're just never killing the DK?
No, not at this point. Not early on. You just play to deal with the lanes. Bak is doing better than anticipated versus the Templar Assassin, because sometimes these TAs get the back-to-back meld hits at the start and can really hurt a Bristle, but Bak is doing fine. He's actually going to catch that next wave to be able to farm. So that's actually a pretty big deal. Because this is the lane that I would say for XG that they can apply the most pressure in, but if he's able to get a good first few levels on the Bristle, you're able to kind of thrive.
Bottom.
Fair bit of magic damage. Shiro should be fine. He still has the Tangle plus that Lotus, kind of just exchanging resources. Chain lightning is online, so Mango's very likely to start getting ferried. Okay, XXS, he's got one. The damage from this chain lightning is, it's probably the best neutral creep you can get versus Terrorblade in the laning phase, since it's just very high initial burst. That being said, though, Shiro is still getting a very good farm, but XXS is actually getting a little bit more out of the lane in comparison. XM, he's dragging waves, so doesn't want to be in that head-up matchup versus nothing to say anymore. So lane shenanigans, they will be occurring. And Planet is going to start rotating over to maybe mess with this.
He's going to, grab a second wave as well, maybe here, or?
Looks like he is trying to. It does mean Bak is left alone top, so this is XG's chance to go for this potential kill onto the Bristleback. But Planet is back top, so we'll be able to push them away from it. Never mind. Nothing to say. He's trying to contest every single one of the range creeps. I think he got 1 or 2 of the denies back there. He's up to 14 denies, Owen.
I mean, you can see why XM's trying to play the lane like this. Doesn't want to...
I mean, it's a clever approach. Honestly, pulling it here, Flame Guard. He could have level 3 Flame Guard if he wants to right now, and maybe start.
Might get a courier.
He will.
There you go. Get his boots.
I mean, okay. All right.
Next, obviously, for nothing to say, it's like
this is actually kind of working a little. I mean, nothing to say now. He's going to chase him out. Is there going to be any rotation? Is the question.
Of course, with this, though, nothing to say. Losing out on some creeps under the tower.
Yes. I think he did get the big creep right with that Breathe Fire. Did get the Wild Wing. So still a good separation, but okay, not bad. XM adapting. Bottom, XXS, they're committing. Do they have the damage? They do. Also get the trade kill. Why? Will be brought down from Xingqiu. Shiro, though, this is a good amount of pressure he can put. Xingqiu also steps up.
And Planet.
Power shot connects.
Yep, able to get the connection. Cookie to the side from Xingqiu, but the blood grenade's down.
He's got a big wand. Is it enough to protect him?
And TP coming back
Shiro's
in.
dropping low.
He just did.
Oh, what a play.
And now with the back of XXS, can they get Planet as well? Planet will be able to clean up Xingqiu. Planet does have win run in a second, so there will be fine. But indeed, he just turns and shoots him in the face.
He just got hit by the tower a couple of times extra there. And yeah, Xingqiu, that extra damage, that was sick. What a play. They will eventually chase out that Ember. Level 6 was hit for nothing to say, so XM pushing the limits, trying to cut these waves. Why? We'll be able to punish him. About 1,000 difference between him and that Ember. Has the catapult still alive in mid lane. Xingqiu is there to slow down the push. They do have Tianming here too. So they're gonna rotate the Ember. Can they push nothing to say off this tower? Looks like they will. Fair bit of magic damage between these three. With the Flame Guard, it'll take them time to kill him, but
They want to keep pulling XM whilst he has
They're
got
gonna
the
try.
six himself. They'll try and turn with the three of them towards nothing to say.
Magic damage is high. Is it
They
enough?
burst him. The shackle comes in though. XM's going to be the first to fall, and nothing to say. He'll be able to walk it off. They didn't have enough to finish him.
It was close, right? The whittling that comes out there, but yeah, just a little bit too tanky with these double bracers. They tried to throw pretty much all that magic onto him. They do at least hold on to their tower, but they lose XM again. Back to back for this Ember Spirit. Full treads. Very good position for nothing to say in. And now at this point, Shiro is in a... he's in a fine position just to be left alone on this Terrorblade too. He's going to do TV things. And Bach, again, I think Bach just... He's probably the one for me that did the best that I actually thought he was going to get shut down a little.
Sure. Yeah, he didn't die at all up there.
Plus the Ringmaster, but not the case. So he's actually matching the farm of the Doom. Ame still... This TA always ends up having that super high farm, but yeah, unable to bully a Bristleback at all with that minus armor. Yeah,
they keep trying to kill nothing to say in the mid, but again, they get him low, but not enough between those two to actually finish the job off.
Still sitting at 400 HP. This might be the time when nothing to say backs up a little here, though. Why? Versus XM. Power Rune coming up, and nothing to say is starting to stack back up since he's at 600 HP.
It's going to be top.
XM gets no luck. Wait, Planet, what the...
What?
I guess because the Remnant was there, he didn't want the chance of the Remnant.
Ah, that's fair. Yeah, you're right. They did have a Remnant in position.
Yeah,
so
I was like, what the?
Just took it from in front of his DK.
But
indeed had to stop the Ember from Remnanting over to grab it.
Let's see what he can get done with it, too, because he gets a ward down, and he could go through the Twin Gate to set up for a potential move. Let's see where he wants to go. It will be toward bottom. Jinkyu is showing under the tower here. Rotations are coming in.
XG, I think they sent something's up here. They're not going to stay any further down the lane.
Not the greatest ways for XG to hit towers early on until the TA wants to get involved. Another pause. Seems like they're having some issues.
As you say, well, overall, there is a better chance for what Ame to be able to carry this game on the TA, as opposed to game one.
Much better chance, I would say. He's not playing versus... I mean, he's still playing versus a pretty difficult, you know, TB, high armor. Yeah. But it's not due, so he's like probably the hardest in the game to play versus as a Templar SS. And let's see if he deviates the build too, because it looks like he is slightly. I mean, he's going to go Charge Dragonlance, probably Deso anyway, but... Let's see how these timings all end up hitting. Because the important one also is the Mage Slayer timing for XM. That's why they pick it versus the... You know, versus that Bristleback. And his timings are all completely slowed down because of that laning phase. And overall, for the side of Tidebound, they absolutely can hit buildings on all three sides. All three cores like to hit towers relatively early on. Bach taking a bit of a beating here. Ame standing his ground.
Yeah, difficult to dive Ame though.
Yeah. Until they have like level 6 on Phoenix, or if they want to bring Shiro top, I don't know if they can fully commit to dive for Ame. But they could look to do it soon, because Y Innocence is about to hit 6 on Phoenix. And he's going to start making the move. So yeah, it looks like they are going to start to set up to pressure Ame top now. Bach stepping forward. A lot of traps up here. Here comes Y from the flank. Doesn't have to dive at the ready, so can't actually do much of anything here besides just push them off from aggressive move. Planet continuing to get some big stacks going. It is scouted. Tianming does have the ward around the triangle there, but he is getting that preparation there for Bach to get that increased farm, as XM does get some luck with the rune now, so regen will be attained. No 6s yet on those supports. That's when we're probably going to see the next big move, either the Phoenix 6 or the Snapfire 6. So they do have kill threat when Jinkyu has his kisses, and then they can pair up with XM and look for something.
Yeah, I think both lineups will be looking to go. Yeah. You say they'll also have the Blink Dagger pretty much on nothing to say with those ult timings.
Yeah, he's got it. I mean, after this stack and the one above, he absolutely has it, and a little more.
And they're starting to make a move towards this area, see what they can find.
Not super easy to kill him, but they can take the stacks perhaps. Flame Guard's on cooldown 15 seconds. XM. Now at this point, it's going to be too hard once they bring more heroes. But can they steal any? Let's see. Can he scatter blast? Oh!
He gets one.
They will lose their word for it, though. And there's that blink. So nothing to say. Got to be easier for him to make those aggressive moves in comparison because he's this tanky. XM, because he's so fragile, him making aggressive moves at this point is going to be difficult. 1k HP compared to that 2k HP of the DK. It's so, I mean, he's so tanky so early. Because he's got the brawny orb of destruction too. I mean, 2,000 HP at 11 minutes. That's actually absurd. Even with kisses, I mean, he might actually be able to survive a play that they make on this DK.
It's hard to kill him.
Yeah, this is actually absurd how...
They kind of need kisses and Doom.
Yeah.
And a +1.
Yeah, it does feel
and sort of like an Ember chasing him down as he tries to run away.
It does feel like something like that, as XM still going to continue to do this little creep manipulation shenanigans that he's got to do to be able to catch back up in the game.
They're going to go for top by looks of it, with their Blink Dagger reveal on the DK.
Yep, they've got Egg as well too, so they want to look to accelerate things for this tower push, because they hit towers very easy on the side of Tidebound. They're bringing 5.
Tiaming's been spotted, nothing to say. Find Xingqiu at the side.
A dream catch, that's their team fight.
XG's going to try and fight this, but they're already down 2 heroes. XXS walks in, drops the Doom onto the Phoenix, but he's dead, and Shiro can use the Sunder to make sure that nobody even dies.
Oh, God. I'm surprised
that was
they set
awkward
up for this, too.
I mean, because they very quickly lost the 2 supports, and then you have XXS going in and being like, well, I'm here, I might as well drop a Doom anyway. But he ends up dying as well, and the Doom doesn't find anything.
Tidebound just looks to be, honestly, 1 or 2 steps ahead in this series in particular. This movement just feels very forced from the side of XG. As soon as Xingqiu gets jumped, the fight's over. They need kisses for the damage. They are, yeah, they're just quite behind it because of XM. Right? Not having that good lane, they need him to get involved, or they need kisses to have damage. Plant it.
Yeah, you can just sort of tease around with XM. He's not scared of him.
Does have to watch out for the slight Remnant Chain play that XM can do on him, but he should be okay for now. He's got Wand and Lotus, so XM probably doesn't want to risk it. A very decisive hit from Tidebound and a very easy tower that they're able to claim. And yeah, Doom now on cooldown for 80 seconds. They've got kisses at the ready, but it feels like this isn't going to be another game for XG where they sit back and farm, and it does feel like it benefits Tidebound a little more here unless they start getting some successful moves together with their ults.
They're looking towards XM in the mid. Pop the illusion rune. Shackle will not latch though.
That was...
Planet, he probably had time to be a bit more patient and try and find the angle there, right?
Yeah, I think he thought that tree was lined up, but it actually was not. He was shooting it at the, from the southern side. Just whiffs it. XM will be happy about that. That's almost his Mage Slayer done. So that'll help a lot versus, the supports, of course, and versus that Bristleback, but not so much, of course, at all versus the DK of the TV.
They're going to go again.
It's on the Ringmaster.
And that's a very, very dead Tianming. XM will snipe the courier. Should be fine here. Still has a Remnant or 2 at the ready. Dragontail is up in a second, though, so we'll have to respect that.
He's going to steal the rune from him.
Yeah, nothing to say, indeed. Able to grab that.
Bach is getting chased out. Has the TP available. We'll be able to get away. XM again. Planet is stalking him. XM with the heads up. Remnant play just in case of anything. Trying to still go for Planet. The Croaker stuns Planet. But here's
XM! Nothing to say, he's got the blink. Running away in time, but XM living on the edge there.
Making space.
He is. Sort of jump past the entirety of the team, remnant by remnant.
True definition of space. Force 3-4 heroes to chase you in the jungle while your TA is farming. He'll take down an XG. My goodness, this DK's HP. He has Sanj coming out now too. Treads. He's going to be sitting 2600 HP. 15 minutes in, not bad.
How do they kill him?
How do you
it's going to have to be all 5 heroes.
Yeah, it's got to be Doom Kisses and just more people sticking on him. And even then, the Sunder, of course, will have to watch. If they don't throw that Doom onto the TB, he can't always go for those saves. Y has also built down the route as Pavis, as we saw there. A great Pavis game. Playing versus TA and Ember Spirit, the poke that you can prevent on some of these more fragile heroes is huge. That is the Mage Slayer for XM, so at the least he's been able to make somewhat of a recovery. I mean, it's obviously not fantastic by any means, but he's been dealt some pretty difficult cards this game. And Ame, Dragonlance Deso almost has the blink. He's completely free farming, a solid 1500 separation between him and the TB at the moment. So his damage is absolutely there.
Look at the shard. It's going to go the way of Y.
one of the best ones in the game. Of course, only has 1 point at the moment in the sun, right? But that's okay. Still a phenomenal one to always have. See if XG, are they going to look to make another move? Doom is up. Can they look for a potential kill? Have yet to see the synergy of Kisses plus Doom 16 minutes in.
I mean, you've got to imagine they're going to want to. There's no way they're going to want to sit back
but this
like they did last game.
This tower's already dead, so they can't really look to make the move too much down here. They can't really just walk up and get a Doom. Not very easy.
But it does feel like they've got everything they need. Arme's got those 3 core items, the Blink, the Dragon Lance, and the Death, so he's ready to get involved. And if they don't do something soon, it's only going to get harder and harder to kill these 3 cores in particular, right?
I mean, we saw it last time. They actually just seems content with farming, even when it doesn't feel like it's good.
But they've got
maybe
their
just
time.
waiting for
They've even got an amplified damage rune in the bottle of the Ember. Like, they have a lot of great stuff right now, XG.
I think it has to be a time to pressure. Amp damage, you've got your Mage Slayer, you've got your Deso plus Blink on the TA to get involved in too, so...
Got your ults.
I'd imagine they want to look to, but I feel like we said that last time the whole time.
It's true, and they're pretty split up on the map.
Yep.
No indication of grouping up right now, XG.
I did see Tianming draw a line saying to push the bottom lane, but I don't know if that's directed at everybody or what that call actually is. I only just see a line, right? But looks like he was maybe trying to call for something, but...
Yeah, it just really feels that they're in a great spot to make a play.
Yep. I mean, Tidebound now at this point, they'll just find a free pick.
Atos done that for Planet, so they'll have an even easier time of getting the setup.
XM, can he get this solo grab, at least maybe force the egg potentially? No.
Let's be a bit careful, because Bach, of course, is around as well.
Yeah, you don't know where everybody is. General Bach, bring it to XM. He'll be able to back away. Jinkyu in a deep position versus Shiro.
All right, yeah, he's just going to have to TP out, though. Nothing to be done here on his own.
I was like, wait, how the hell did Jinkyu even get there? He just like appeared in the mid lane for me. Typical Jinkyu things. XM trying to get another power rune. It will spawn bottom. It's a good one. It's a shield rune. Planet will take it away. And Planet now also having Atos himself. He's actually gone a max win run this game, which is pretty interesting. I guess because he's playing versus the Ember and the TA, he wants to just be able to get in and out of the fights. And since you go Atos nowadays on these win rangers, level 1 Shackle is pretty good with an Atos anyway. So cool approach coming out, little adaptation from Planet as now they get to go to Roche, and again, it's a similar story as the last time playing versus the TA draft.
They have to fight this, right? XG's gotta go now.
All right, Kiss is at the ready. Ame getting the flank. He's got the shard also, so the silence that can come in from the traps could be huge.
Oh, and no, not finding anyone there.
Scan comes out. They know exactly where they are. Bach leading the charge. XXS.
They're going to be able to force him back.
Bach.
They turn towards him. We'll get the blade mail off, though. Just get caught by the slight chains. Kiss is coming in. They'll bring down Bach. Now nothing to say. There's in with the jump. Oh, my goodness, the escape out comes in just in time. They'll get Arme out to the side of the fight. The Supernova's there. They're going to turn towards it. We'll be able to take it down. Buyback comes in from Bach as they want to try and turn this fight here, Tidebound. Doom's about to wear off on nothing to say.
It's a good fight so far for XG.
Can just sort of hold back, they'll take that, absolutely. They get the 2 kills, they force out a buyback.
But they used everything. Now contesting this Roche is very unlikely for them. Perhaps they can try to get some spam out inside.
Surely they still got to try and fight this. I mean, they have 5 heroes against the 4.
They perhaps can, actually. Nothing to say jumping forward.
He's going to get the jump over towards Tianming. Tianming will tick out.
Nothing to say.
XM's getting locked down here. The Sunder comes in to keep nothing to say alive, nothing to say does still die.
Ame lives.
But the snipe comes in and now Bach's ready to run down XXS and Ame.
Ame, can he get out?
Buyback comes in here from Tianming. Ame is getting run down here by the 4 of them. Another power shot comes in from Planet. Ame's gone. Bach will die. He's dead for a very long time off the back of that buyback that he came in with prior.
Super chaotic fight.
Yeah, I mean, Tidebound had options there. They could either finish the Roshan or
for the fight.
Just go for more fighting. They opt for the fighting. It does, of course, cost them further lives themselves, but not without getting those kills against XG, taking down that Ember and, of course, Ame at the end of it as well to fall.
And the important thing now is that meta's coming back up, DK form's coming back up. How long on Doom? It's still 40 seconds. Kiss is also for 30, but they're breaking away from the Roche, so it's been stopped. Actually impressive. I thought Tidebound would be able to go back in there, but instead taking the fight and a trade of kills, so XG. Nice little play there. Getting Bach at the start there was very impressive. I mean, Ame doing little tricks, of course, hitting his side blades off his traps, getting that extra big damage onto the bristle at the start of things.
And at this point, this is where Tidebound realized they could try and go for even more. Obviously, nothing to say. Very low. They tried to save him a little bit of a sunder.
Like the same HP sunder almost.
Yeah, didn't really change too much there.
If Bach doesn't buy back, honestly, XG can probably dominate that fight. So it's a very good call that he buybacks, but then Tianming buying back also allows them to be able to push Tidebound away slightly too. Cool exchange of plays there. That whole exchange was better than the entire last game.
That's true. We're getting some fights. We're getting XG going for some action.
Yeah. And they're getting to get items as well, too. We see XM. He's recovered massively versus the Dragon Knight. And XXS, he's very rich on this Doom now after that, too. SNY nearly having the BKB. Glad they can test for that Roche. Roche still sitting at about 5,800 HP, so Ame, he's the one who's sneaking in. 12 seconds, no bristle. And I'm going to be able to...
They don't have Shiro. Shiro has not got a TP, and he is on the other side of the map.
They're going to scout it. They have Fire Spirits, but it is looking at...
They want to try for a steal.
Oh! Power shot almost gets it. Oh! The Fire Spirit!
Oh, yeah, it ticked out. Okay.
Or well, something ticked out.
I think you're right. It must have been the Fire Spirit, right? That was the only thing in there, right?
Power shot was thrown after. Or
Yeah.
Power shot was thrown beforehand. So.
Yeah.
Okay, they get the last hit. Wait, that just happened. But all right.
It's such a tiny amount of damage, isn't it, against the Roche?
Because Ame was melded and he was trying to attack, but I think his attacks was slowed from the Fire Spirit.
So that also stopped him from getting the easy last hit, yeah. I think, that's what it was.
I really love Dota so much. They do get the Aegis, though, so...
They do. But what are they going to do with it, though? Because they did play slow last game. We're seeing a bit more action from them here. But I wouldn't put it past XG to get an Aegis and just farm.
They can farm for the BKB, I would say. I think this is actually a really good timing for Ame to get back, get his BKB finished, and then they can look to strike with Aegis plus BKB on him. And it's very strong timing because they'll probably have... Yeah, they'll have the double BKB timing to be able to play around.
He's changed it up,
play forward.
Ame. He doesn't want the BKB anymore.
Okay, so going for break versus Bristle.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, Fire Spirit. Yeah, it was the last tick of the Fire Spirit.
Yeah, they're very smart there from Ame. He's like, all right, I guess they got the last hit.
If you get it like that as a Phoenix, you kind of deserve it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, well, fair play.
All right, so going down the Silver Eyes route.
Yeah.
So, I mean, definitely wanting to break both of the two frontliners, right? The DK and the Bristle could absolutely see the merits of it. High risk, high reward from Ame as he tends to play with, it seems like, lately.
Because how important is the BKB this game? Like,
it's quite nice versus the Phoenix and the DK, the control, right? The stuns in particular. But I guess when he's feeling like Jin Q can also just go for the egg in most situations, he can play differently inside those team fights. Just kill the front line that charges at him first. So.
Sure. I guess as we sort of saw a little bit around that rush shot, if he's getting fire spirited in the fights, it's going to feel kind of bad, right? Or is it not that bad?
No, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
But he can also just wait for 20 talent also and then just get refraction dispels.
Sure.
So that's what most of them we do see.
Yeah, that's true. He's not too far from that level 18 at the moment.
Why? Whip off the mark. Oh! Almost dies to the meld. Fraction of HP gets the stick off. XM. They're looking for him.
He's going to try and go through the twin gate.
Plan it.
And he'll get through. They don't have
Bach is on top
to stop him.
But Bach now actually finds himself in a dangerous spot.
Ame jumps in. No, Bach's trying to bring down XM with him, but indeed the damage coming out. Far too much for Bach to survive through.
XG's doing it. Getting some really good kills set up around the map nicely. They're punishing Tidebound being split up. Some nice plays, and XM is completely recovered, as we said, for this Ember Spirit. SNY's done, Mage Slayer's done. His job is just to survive very long in the fights and poke and prod to be able to apply this Mage Slayer to allow the TA to thrive.
Here we go. They want to keep going.
Yep, I like
Much more active this time round, XG.
Let's see who they're going to find. Are they going to be able to get Shiro the big kill? They do see him. That ward.
That's got the Manta and the Pike to try and slide away.
Got the Doom at the ready.
Whoop!
No way, he's able
to Hurricane Pike out before the Doom comes in.
High Demon Zeal movement speed plus that Pike just way too fast. That's crazy. You're playing versus a Phase, Drum, Speed, or a Doom, and he was able to distance
Couldn't
himself.
get in.
I thought XXS was going to queue up the Blink Dagger immediately after that, but he still just has the Shiva's queued. We'll see if he obviously pivots, but... Smoke now? Tidebound, feeling like they can go for a strike. There's still a minute left on the Aegis of Ame.
I mean, this is probably going to change, right? Or are you okay with XM and XXS both getting Shivas?
Doom can sell items, so it's always
That's true.
pretty okay.
That's true, that's true. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Nothing to say. He's in.
Yep. Now we'll get the BKB off XXS. Return with the Doom. Not going to be able to run down the DK and look towards Shiro, but Shiro's ready to stand his ground. Bark leads forward, doesn't want to enter to the high ground. They'll force Shiro back up to the safety of their side of the map here.
Ghost Scepter for Bach, just wanting to deal with that Silver Edge. It's been picked up now for Ame.
Oh, they get them very low, but not quite able to finish off the job. Everybody survived.
That was a... they did end up committing meta and Dragon Form, but the Doom is wasted, and they'll be able to disengage versus that in the Kisses. So for Tidebound, they poke and force something, but yeah, nobody dies on either side. We've got a game on our hands, Owen.
Absolutely.
Absolutely set up in a place where
Are
XG are in a pretty okay spot right now. They don't want to be falling behind on the map, though. So continue to look to apply this pressure. XXS, they're smoking again. So even without Doom, because that meta was used,
and without the
DK
Aegis
form, yeah, they have some aggressive plays they want to go for. There is an egg still available, and it's a level 2 egg.
Okay.
So they have to be ready for that.
He's looking at just running down Bark.
Looking to punish the meta in DK form on cooldown.
That's a little bit too deep now.
They can. They can get the Tormentor. This is a nice one. So I actually forgot to mention this at the start of the game, but they're playing versus Terrorblade, so Spotlight's always going to be super valuable to bring down those illusions. Seems like it's actually one of the best solutions lately. It kills them so fast. Also, that miss chance is, of course, very nice, but... Ame stepped up a bit deep, and remember, he is still quite glass cannon.
And how glass cannon will he continue to go? Is that BKB going to be back on the menu now that he's got his Silver Edge, or is he kind of getting a taste for the exciting life as the glass cannon once again?
I feel it feels like he could cue the BKB, but it could be a situation where he also just goes MKB, because last game he went MKB even when there was no butterfly on the Medusa, which was a bit interesting of a take, but...
Yeah, I guess it was just the Wind Ranger, right?
Yeah.
That was kind of it.
We'll see how
he's got the BKB queued up.
Oh,
he might change it again.
He didn't take Refraction Dispels. He took the damage, so he will have to actually deal with Fire Spirit.
Yeah, he needs.
So he needs the BKB.
He needs the BKB.
All right. I mean, going for just straight up damage, sure. See different approaches from different players, depending on the situations. But yeah, we'll need BKB to get rid of Fire Spirits at the least. How's the BKB looking for nothing to say? Almost has it. Yeah, Shiro close to that butterfly too.
Jinkyu.
Very nice. Feels like we haven't had too many little pickoffs.
He's not buying a BKB, Fog.
He's doing it, isn't he?
He's going for the MKB.
Okay. We were saying
there we go.
It's definitely possible that he.
But this is greedy, right? So you don't get the refraction dispels, and you don't go for the BKB.
This is.
I love it.
It's all
this
about
my kind of carry here.
This is definitely. I mean, you love this. XM, they saw where the Remnant went. Do they have a cancel? They don't. So no Yules on the Phoenix.
I wonder, when he queues the BKB up, does he do that just so his teammates, when they click on him, they're like, oh, that's right, TA's getting the BKB, and then he's like, oh, guys, oh no, I bought a Demon Edge. Oh, whoa,
he shows people that he knows what the safer play is, and he's like, ha ha ha, gotcha. Gotcha, dumbass.
I'll see if it pays off here for our mate.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, he is all about high risk, high reward, so why not? And the fact that the pace of the game is slowing down does start to pose concerns for XG as well, as we said. Not as much on a timer this game, but still definitely on a timer when they're playing versus this draft, since you're versus one of the best scaling supports in the game, and a TB versus that TA. And now, we do see Tidebound starting to get that lead in terms of gold and experience. They're 4 levels advantage as well, on top of having that 2K lead, and starting to get some good pressure here.
It is risky, isn't it? It's what saves us?
I mean,
He has an escape act, right?
He does.
Yeah, the escape act better be there, because if it's not, and he kind of gets dragon-tailed, and the Terrorblade is hitting him, he's just dead.
I also think that pretty much every team has just learned you get the nullifier versus that escape act as the game progresses, and they already have got one queued up. I think they had 2 queued up, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
DK
you're
and
right.
the Bristle.
Yeah, Bark does.
So.
Oh, nothing to say wants to get the AC instead.
Okay, he switched it, but he did have it queued beforehand, so.
Yeah. But Bark's, 2,500 gold into the relic.
Uh-oh. Ame. They're going to run right on top of him. They don't have detection on that spot, and the 2 of them. XXS, can you get away?
Oh, nothing to say. He's got him. We'll force the BKB out. Oh.
I mean, it's a BKB having to get used. So Tidebound could look to back up and re-smoke and look for another move with that BKB on cooldown. And why? He's going for the bigger item. Mentioned that he didn't have a TP cancel. They don't have. He's just going to go for the Hex. Very good versus the Ember. And a TA with no BKB, of course.
But he's got the MKB done now. So now.
He's got Nemesis Curse. He's literally as Glass Cannon as him.
And actually, to be fair, he's not going to queue up next. He'll probably just get the Hurricane Pike.
Yeah, just get the Hurricane Pike, the Swift Fling.
Yeah. And then. Maybe.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Gem now picked up, so they're trying to get rid of these pesky traps because they are very annoying for the supports in particular, since he did buy that shard early on the side of Ame. Before that Roche fight in particular. Shiva's #1 is finished. XM is about to have Shiva's #2.
Okay. But you think they'll play with this for a while, or indeed we'll get it sold on XXS?
It's double Shiva's is much more valuable than something like double.
Sure, because you can kind of stagger the usage and split the fight up.
Exactly.
Ember's going to be jumping the back lines. Doom's going on the main target.
Planet.
And they're going with the chains. They got him easily, of course.
MKB.
That's a lot of damage. That's what Ame's here to do.
And the Roche gonna start to perhaps threaten it here. 40 seconds, no Wind Ranger. DK form is on cooldown. I don't know if they saw that one. But they kill this fast.
Yeah, they do. Tidebound. What are they going to do about this?
There's still a ward here.
Oh, they get the Dragon Tail onto XM. Escape Act's going to be there, making sure nothing else is to follow up. But the rest of XG, they're looking at just finishing off the Roshan. Bark's going to try charging in. But Roshan. Oh, the bash on Ame. They'll still get it.
I thought the Fire Spirit was about to.
It was going to be close, but yeah, this time around, XG get the last hit on the Roche. They get the Aegis for Ame.
That's big. Even just a little pick on the Wind Ranger allows him to be able to do that. And DK form's still on cooldown. Nothing to say. Will be able to play himself out of that one. A good hit. All it takes is one kill to be able to enable them to get that Roche because they have the number advantage. Tidebound looking to re-smoke and catch anyway. Probably looking and saying he doesn't have BKB, guys, right?
I mean, they can kill him twice.
Oh my god, oh, and he actually queued up the Swift Blink. I love it. Dude, I love Ame sometimes.
Hey, and look, he's compensating for the team. He's like, look, guys, I'll get a Lincoln's. That's the best I can do you this game. You're not getting a BKB from me, but you can get a Lincoln's.
And that'll allow him to prevent the nullifier versus the escape act. Oh man,
XXS
doesn't get the BKB off.
Yeah, quick jump for nothing to say. I'll get it off now. And he's on the escape.
He lives.
He's out of there.
Ame.
He has TP'd in.
Silver edged up. You'll see it. Yeah, no, they may honestly keep. They may not even sell the Shivas at all because the armor is so useful. This honestly.
The stats
it's not just about the abilities like active 15 armor.
And they're trying to get in on this XG.
Meta is at a quarter duration. Same thing for Dragon Form. Trying to inch their way in. They're still smoked on the sideline. TK Form wearing off. Meta's gone. Tidebound's dipping. Can nothing to say get himself out as well.
That should be fine.
He can. Ooh, maybe. I think they caught a glimpse of him there.
Oh, he's got blink up in a second if he's going to read the room, and he is.
Woo.
Reads it perfectly.
That was super close. XXS still on the hunt, but can't quite get there. He's got the blink queued up for the next potential time. Then he'll have it. Be able to get that jump forward. Playing nice here on cooldowns. As I said, Meta and DK form were used. XG, as soon as they see those expiring, they look to hit. Still 3 minutes on Aegis for Ame. Probably also feeling why he can go more greedy route. Oh, look at that. GQ. Queuing up the nullifier.
Nullifiers all round.
Okay.
is under attack.
A bit of an interesting one for him.
Oh, because you're not really seeing something in particular. I guess the Ghost Scepter, right? You just you want to make sure that you can enable killing the Bristle.
Yeah, it's just interesting if he wants to go that route rather than the Ember Spirit, because it's hard sometimes for Snap to get in the face to be able to cast the Nova too, because it's not got the greatest overall, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess XM does indeed eventually want to get it, but he's like, I probably need a BKB.
Exactly, yeah.
He does want to get the BKB first.
Okay. Nice game. It's exciting. Bach is scouted by this trap on bottom. This might catch him off guard. XXS saw him.
Oh. I get the Doom down. Bach, very dead.
Great catch. TA traps can be very pesky at times, just getting these individual pickoffs. And he is not carrying the gem. I believe it is still the Phoenix who is doing so.
I know, mate. He's pleasing his teammates a little more, but he's getting the Lincolns before the Swift Blink. So has got the defensive item at the ready.
Right, why not?
A very good Lincoln's game.
It is, absolutely. Versus the DK, versus the Hex that's going to eventually come out to protect his Escape Act versus the Nullifiers. Definitely a lot of cool things that he can do with this. And it's been impressive to me how Ame, like, he's obviously gone full glass game, but he's been keeping himself ahead of the Terrorblade the entirety of this game. Just by that little bit extra. Very impressive stuff from him to keep that farm going. Doom down for 60 seconds, but Bach still dead for 30. AC finished up. Y will take out that trap that ended up killing Bach in the bottom lane. A just getting reclaimed soon. Yeah, we're getting to a pretty fun territory as this game progresses. Because the scaling, it is starting to hit pretty good from both sides as well too, since XM has been able to find himself that nice farm. So triple scaling cores, it feels, on both sides. See how the difference of the supports, what they're going to be able to do, since there's a really godly save on one side, there's a really godly scale on one side from the Phoenix. And I think Xingqiu, did he commit? I believe he did, right?
Dire's middle tower
What do we got?
I think he's got that Nullifier pretty much done.
Yeah, he must have the relic right in the courier somewhere.
I couldn't find his courier. I think I'm blind.
Yeah, he's got it. It's in the
is.
base,
Okay,
yeah.
So Nullifier's done.
And he's going to have that out for the next fight for sure.
Yeah, that can be pretty big, for sure, to get rid of these Ghost Scepters. And of course, versus the 4 staff saves and all that, we can include those as well too. But there is Ogre Seal Totems, so have to factor in those. How many of there are? I see only one. So nothing to say was actually the only one to claim it on his side to be able to get that disengage versus Nullifiers. While on for XG, they did get 2 Ogre Seal Totems. So we'll be able to play in and out of these fights.
Yeah, interesting what to see saw the decisions as well from like XM, because he originally did have the BKB queued up, then he changed it to the Lincolns, and then he went back for the BKB. I mean, out of the would you say that the BKB is the safer bet than the Lincolns this game?
Yes, BKB is because as an Ember Spirit, you BKB, you charge the backlines, and you just completely screw at the supports. Like if you go for something else, you can't do it as much because you can actually get caught, stunned, and killed in an instant. The BKB allows you to just fully utilize your Flame Guard on top of supports.
Because how's Ame going to be looking to play these fights? Like, who's he trying to jump? Is he going for the big targets, or is he also trying to get the squishies
He
first?
can get the big targets.
Yeah.
Because of the damage he's got. Amp damage is... Is it bottom? It is, right? Yeah, it is bottom. So I don't know if they scouted that. Pretty massive rune for this upcoming fight. The ward is on this high ground here for XG. So they do see quite a lot. They saw Y in the area. Nice power shot. Next on 3 heroes scouts everything. Did they scout the amp damage? They did. So nothing to say. Does pick it up. XG with this downtime have been able to actually increase that gold lead. Level 25 has now been hit for Ame as well. Extra refraction. And also, since nothing's really happened, XXS also, he bought Yashikaya, so wanting that cast speed. Cast speed's bonus on that Doom to prevent them from getting anything off his back.
They've found him. That Ghost Scepter not doing much anymore. They've got so much damage to burn him down through it. He's getting to live a little longer than expected. Is he actually going to get away?
No way.
What?
What?
They couldn't kill him?
Okay.
He looked dead for sure.
I don't know how he gets out of that there. Dancing in the base.
Dire's middle tower is under
That was
attack.
wild.
I did.
Well,
yeah, well, they missed out on that kill.
Now XS is probably like, damn, I should have just doomed him, I guess.
I think so.
Fancy footwork coming in from Bach. Pyrrhic Cloak just did an unbelievable amount of damage, by the way, if you saw that. I think it was in combination with that, too. So I saw Pyrrhic Cloak pop by that Ember Spirit. Just insane damage coming out of Bach on top of everything. But he lives. We'll tell the tale. Smoke up.
I mean, yeah, if this next fight goes rough for XG, they're really going to regret not killing Bach.
And these fights are complicated from both sides now at this point. See who is able to get that initial jump. No Hex still on the Phoenix. Ame in the front lines with this Lincoln's. Looking to jump.
They're going to make the jump towards Bach. He gets the goes to drop at the same time. Nothing to say gets in. The escape pack will be there. Nothing to say turns towards XXS. XXS, he's gone.
Dead.
They've killed off the Doom. Now XG 4 versus 5. They have to hold back. The tier 2 will fall. And jump forward, he gets the Dragon Tail. And he follow up, not quite. XM still able to get the slight and the chains off.
Ame.
But the kisses coming in onto Shiro.
I mean, Ame has to play that fight so careful. He walked up and I'm like, oh my goodness. He thankfully has those refraction charges to play around, but Doom gets brought down. And yeah, definitely regretting not throwing that Doom down on bottom, perhaps. Now this fight kicking off. Tidebound. A really nice jump coming in from nothing to say. A confident one.
Yeah, very quick.
Right on top of Jinkyu. I don't know, Jinkyu somehow ends up surviving throughout it all, but they get the bigger target. They focus onto that Doom.
Next fight, Bach's also going to have the full BKB done.
Terrorblade's got Scotty now finished up, soon to be 25 for him as well.
Now Roshan.
I mean, the Scotty, this timing, the Scotty plus the Butterfly plus all this now versus the TA. I mean, Ame has to kill this TB pretty quickly in the fight, so he's just going to get completely outclassed from that Scotty. They can't just let Shiro stand his ground. Level 18 on the Phoenix now, and the Hex is there, Owen. So they've got that hard lockdown on now.
If they get through that Lincolns of Arming, find any sort of follow-up lockdown.
There's one. They break the Lincolns the first time, but he's got backup. DK form is back at the ready. Meta in 20 seconds. Roche, it's up. Smoke on smoke. Does Tidebound actually have a smoke? They did. Looks like both teams will probably look for that smoke engagement. Let's see who's able to find that better jump this time around. Ame with the Swift Blink purchased.
So he gets the jump in the mid.
Tense and smoke.
XM. Moving in. XM tries to get the Doom, but the Hex is there. Straight away on towards the Doom. XM puts the BKB, commits it on the Wiper. Why is able to get the Supernova off? XM, he's taking a hell of a lot of damage. He has to jump out with the Remnant. They have to get away from this.
XM has to get out. And that's his BKB. Egg is forced, so is Meta.
Very quick reactions there from Y.
Yes, instantly.
Just before the Doom was able to land.
And he doesn't, it's like he doesn't know that that Hex was there too. That's the important thing. Because otherwise, very likely that he BKBs as he blinks in. But the fact that he just picked it up on the Phoenix catches him off guard. Greaves now finished up for Planet. So he's got another way to dispel or get these chains off. So I'm definitely wanting that versus either the traps that have been annoying those two supports in the back line. Roche is at the ready. It's a big one.
Very close to seeing Arme being able to pretty much complete the Glass Cannon Dream build. You can sell the treads, of course, get that Daedalus in. Did manage to find a movement speed enchantment, so we'll be able to play without the treads.
30
seconds.
seconds.
Sell them, get the Daedalus.
Still on cooldown for the BKBs for XG. Phoenix Egg also for 50, so both teams hesitant to look for a fight, also because meta cooldown. So both kind of pivoting it, waiting around that Roche pit. The jumps truly will be everything in these fights. Power Rune, shield one. It's a big one. And that is tough to get through. Now this DK is insanely tanky if you don't get that nullifier onto him. And both teams have similar ways to keep these side lanes kind of pushed in a way, right? The Ember can go to one lane, push it out. The TB can just send illusions to push the other. So the lane positioning is kind of equivalent for both teams during this Roche contest. They do look like they were pinging to perhaps try to set up for a trap like on XM, it seemed, but you have to be very careful about how much you walk away from the Roche pit. Is that Shiro going all in also? Looks like it is. Believe he sells his treads. He's gone for the Daedalus. And he's about to hit 25, so his damage is going to be, I mean, massively accelerated. We already saw him ripping heroes to shreds.
I mean, XM. It does feel like, even with this slight lead on net worth, but ultimately similar net worth, it's so much harder for Arme to do the damage in these team fights as opposed to this Shiro Terrorblade.
Yeah, agreed. I would say the same.
Like, you're seeing how careful Arme's having to play these team fights.
Absolutely.
Whereas Shiro, he can kind of just walk in, and as long as kind of Doom's already been used, pop the BKB and start punching away.
Gets the poke.
Now get the chains onto the two of them there with the Doom. Straight away onto the Phoenix. Make sure there's no Supernova. Y's gone. And does not have buyback, so will not be able to enter this fight for the next minute. It's a clean kill.
Can't get more out of it, though. They ideally wanted to try to bet another catch, but they didn't want to chase into meta DK. But they did at least actually force the meta and the DK there. And the BKB on that DK, so they're going to look to maybe continue getting this pressure here.
Yeah, the tier 2 mid, Arme.
And they back up and go for the Roche now with this kill on the Phoenix with those BKBs and meta / DK form used. They're going to try. XM.
Ooh, not quite able to get the jump. XM's away with the Remnant.
Hesitant to commit, though. Phoenix coming back too fast.
Yeah, it's still risky.
Good awareness, though. XM, he was the one who was pinging. He's like, they're wrapping behind us, so just commits himself in there with that slight chains and allows him to get that Doom. But now Phoenix coming back up, and that means no Doom for 30. A lot of abilities exchanged. Let's see how they want to approach it. Ame, he's got the gold.
He's got a lot of money.
Almost for the buy and the buyback.
Yeah, if he sells the treads, should be pretty close.
Gleipnir for Jing Q, too. This honestly can help because in the fights, you can tell that they are lacking a bit on control still on the side of XG also. It's literally just the slight chain, so even a Gleipnir usage can be useful. Get that extra catch. They're going to start poking in. XM. Kiss is used quite early.
Indeed, very early. It was pushed them away from this. XXS is going to look for the jump in. Drop the Doom down.
It's on Shiro.
And see if they can finish him off. XM moves forward. He's going to look to bail out of the fight with the TP. He'll be fine. Gets back to the fountain. Shackles connects onto XM into the Hex. They've killed the Ember.
What a shackle.
XXS tries to move forward, but he's got to be careful himself now as Bark and Nothing to Say can turn towards him.
This is awkward for XG now. Shiro's going to be coming back to the fray. He's able to TP out after that Doom. No Ember for 70 seconds. He's got buyback, but a lot used from the side of XG, and they did not get a kill.
And he's got meta up ready as well to press right, Shiro.
He's got salves. He immediately is just running out of the base. Yeah, those BKB used for both the Doom and the Ember as well. That was a lot committed from XG to attempt for that catch because they threw the kisses out. I guess they felt like they kind of had to go for that jump there. But now Tidebound, perhaps in a position where they can finish this Roche. XM.
I mean, did you buy back to try and fight this, or did you let this go?
I feel like you don't want to buy back.
He's going to buy back. They want to try and stop this.
Can they steal anything?
Roshan's already gone, and they're getting all the pickups here. Tidebound, they'll get everything, and now they can look for the fight. They move forward, they get the jumping on towards the snap. Xingqiu's out. And now XG, they've got to run. They can't afford to lose anything more here. Tidebound on the chase. XM and Armin, they're thinking about turning back in towards this. Another buyback comes in for Xingqiu. Look at the Wheel of Wonder down. They're controlling Bark. Can they quite finish him off? They can't. Bark's up to the high ground. He's fine for now.
Too scared to commit on that high ground, and now Cheese gets passed over to him. He's back to full. Shiro has a Sunder if he wants to throw it on a support.
2 buybacks, and they don't stop or get anything.
I'm surprised that they actually used the one on XM. I guess they must have thought that they would be able to take the fight afterwards, but the Roche was clearly going to die before he was able to get back.
He died so quickly to this Terrorblade.
Tidebound. The clutcher moves coming in this later stages of the game. Ame. These 2 buybacks from his team. Oh, it was just the 1 buyback, right? Sorry, yeah, Xingqiu. The 1 buyback. It still is a big one. Xingqiu, as we've seen. Every element is really important. 25 now. for Bach.
Yep.
25 for DK, 25 for Terrorblade. Doom has picked up a refresher. If he can get pretty much the perfect Dooms in these fights, it still can be absolutely massive. He can do, like,
I say that, but like ideally, a
Phoenix
and a
core.
TB.
Yeah, Phoenix and a TB works for me. Yeah,
Definitely Phoenix +1, right?
Yep.
You want to throw one down onto the Phoenix for sure.
Yep. But the Phoenix also does have buyback. So I imagine, in a sense, why he will be hanging on to that. He also has gotten a refresher shard from that Roche, so... And he is really important, though. You do have to address this Phoenix now at this point with level 20. That extra Sunray on top of his egg is devastating at this point if you don't stop it.
And it is coming.
Is it the rapier?
15 minutes. No,
okay.
the BKB. The
I thought it was going to be the rapier from
we can only hope. But the
honestly,
BKB is finally going to come.
I feel like this could be a sell Deso into buy MKB for Ame. It's definitely a possibility. Just because it's Ame. Obviously, I've been wanting to go BKB, but whatever. That'd be hype. High ground push. Gonna start poking. Banners down. The glyph.
Yeah. Oh, come out pretty early.
Trying to pull Ame back. They break the Lincolns.
I mean, nothing to say is ready to look for a jump.
Shiro taking some big side blade damage, just fine.
Hey, these buildings are falling pretty fast.
Ame
tries to get the jump in. They turn towards the beginning with the Dragon Tail. So they're moving off. He's just dead. He has to buy back. They get the Doom down on towards Planet. They've killed the Wind Ranger, but the Supernova, it's going to go off successfully. XX puts the refresher, but he dies as well. Now Tianming, a couple of hits really for nothing to say. He just gets destroyed by this dragon.
And the Sunder's back up to full HP. Ame dies. I mean, he gets sundered and killed.
He dies so quickly.
And they've got a refresher shard on the Phoenix.
Yeah, Wise ready to go again.
He can double hex. He can dive into that double hex if he wants to, if he sees a target.
Nothing to say. Some of the jump. Ame, oh, he blinks in.
Blinked in.
Oh, his Linkers has been popped. They get the Hex Thunder, and the aggressive Thunder as well brings him down low, but the escape act is there for Tianming.
Why? Aggressive Ogre Seal Totem into refresher forward. May have killed himself, but he wanted to get the egg.
He's going to get the egg off, right?
He should get the egg off.
He needs to Hex Shinkyu before the egg, right?
No, he's already used the Shredder, and it's also, it doesn't matter at level 18.
Okay.
So this egg is going to go off, and it's going to zone them.
There it is. Egg's there. XG getting bullied back to the fountain. Shinkyu dead for 100. The tier 4's going down. They'll come in with the rest of the buybacks. They've got the fortification.
They've got another Doom. Can he throw it onto a prime target? And what is the prime target? Aegis on the TB. They still have Phoenix. They have the numbers.
They've got Dragon Form and Metamorphosis back up in just 30 seconds. They're going to be able to keep going here, Tidebound.
They don't even need it for the push. The buildings die so fast.
XG, what do they do?
Gonna try for the jump.
I'm gonna get him.
Even, I mean, into this Aegis, they're trying to just pop it maybe the once. As you said, Meta and DK form, it's about to be back up. Tidebound, they want the Megas.
Look how much money Nothing to Say has.
They're all rich.
10k gold in the bag.
7k for Shiro, also 7k for Bach. Yeah, they pretty much, I mean, the gold lead is all in their backpack.
As the Mega creeps up.
They don't need that gold.
XG 4 versus 5. Can they do anything?
Ame just can't hit targets.
He's going to try.
Doom's out.
Shiro's getting pretty late. Shiro's just ending the game. He's just ignoring everything, hitting the Ancient, and he's going to get out of it. GG. It should be called. There it is. It's over. Tidebound. They take the game, and they take the series.